Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back, family and friends, to another daily scuttlebutt with Ivy's Family Factotum. It's Funky Friday, and I'm back in the taco. So that's what I call it, Tacoma. And even this morning, the kiddo, she was asking. She went outside and then came back inside, and she's like, "What truck are we taking? The Toyota or the Ford?" And I was like, "I already told you we're taking the taco." And she's like, "Huh?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a taco, Ma." So she didn't get my humor. Not at all. Atoll neither. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, I've always called this taco. And definitely needs to be cleaned out. But it's just a little work truck. A little 2-wheel drive. I wish it was 4-wheel drive. I really do. But it's paid off. So that's the best part. It is paid off. Still needs a few other little tweaks and peaks and stuff. Because I'm almost at 300,000 miles on this truck. But the little preventative maintenance things that you need to do to your vehicles, just the upkeeps and stuff. I mean, obviously I bought this as a used truck. I'm like the third owner, I think, to this pickup. So not knowing what anybody else has done in the past, when I bought it, it was, I don't know, already at like 200 and something thousand miles on it. So yeah, it ran fine. It shakes a lot because, like, on the wheel, I don't know if you see my hand, but my hand will go like this. And the guy that I bought it from, it was his son's truck, and he had put some tires on here that, for one, are too big for the truck. For the recommended tire sizes, right? Because you always have a smaller and a bigger tire size that they recommend for the vehicle. Well, the tires that he put on here are one size bigger than the biggest recommended tire for that. So it does, like, if you turn too sharp, it will rub, like the front tires rub on the inside fender wells. Plus, it's a little more aggressive off-road. It's a Wrangler tire or whatever, or I don't know. I forgot what tires they are, but they do cause it to shake. And he told me whenever I bought it that it was going to do that, and that they tried getting the tires balanced, and the tires, that they tried like 3 times, and they said that the tires wouldn't balance. I was like, okay. So I mean, that could be just a defective tire. It could be the rims that are on here are not original to the truck. They are Toyota rims, but you can tell that they're not original. And then, so it could be an issue with like a rim that it doesn't want to balance properly. But anyway, I've dealt with it. Like, I've had the truck now for a few years, and I've just dealt with it shaking me to death as I'm driving. Because I've looked at other components and stuff, and nothing looks like they're overly worn out. I mean, obviously, a truck that has almost 300,000 miles on it is going to have some worn parts. And eventually, I would like to go in there and get stuff fixed up and replaced and such, because I know that, like, the springs in the back are definitely worn out and need to be replaced. So if you've caught some of those videos, over on the main channel of me hauling rocks, doing the culverts, right? So if you watch any of the culvert videos, you'll see, like, whenever I'm putting the rocks in the back of the truck, that it squats way down, and it's really only about 2 wheelbarrows, if that, full of rock in the back of the truck, and it just squats all the way down to the stops. So Yeah, because you can look, because normally, because it has the leaf springs, right? And the leaf springs should already be curved whenever it's just in its resting, no weight added, right? It should still have a decent curve to it. Well, mine are almost straight across. There's no curve at all, so they're quite worn out. And I thought about just like adding a leaf, like taking those out, taking the packs apart and just adding a leaf to it to kind of stiffen it up some, because I do have some of those leaves that I would be able to insert into that, but I was like, nah, I'll just replace them whenever time comes. But it's all part of it, I guess, because eventually I will have my Ram 2500. That's my goal truck. But until we start getting paid, right? Because we're still on a retired military income, so until we really start getting paid, we can't afford to go get a new truck. So, because those were the two biggest things that were my goals. Once we can afford, is to get a new truck, which we've even talked about. Trading this in, trading in the Jeep. We've talked about stuff like that, and those are things that could be up in the air. But I really don't want to get down to being like a one vehicle family, which would not kill us because both of us are retired. We're not really, in the need of needing multiple vehicles, but it's definitely nice having multiple vehicles. So, but I was just saying that if we had to go to one vehicle, we could. Plus we got grandma's truck, and I know that my mom has already said that at some points, like if we ever needed to trade that in for a better truck, that we could work all that out as well. So, if we were to get rid of this, which I would not use this truck as a trade in, I would sell it outright because I could get more money for it that way. And then probably mom's truck would probably be the same. Like we'd probably be able to get more money out of it by just selling it outright. It's 2008 Ford King Ranch. And it's a good truck, but it does have its issues for being a 2008, right? It does have issues in the transmission with the overdrive, and that was caused from pulling a trailer with the overdrive on. It's a big no-no. We don't do that, Mom. We don't do that. And then the 4-wheel drive doesn't work. But other than that, like everything on the truck is good. It. Well, I think it needs like a little bit of exhaust work. Because up by one of the headers, I think the header on the passenger side has a leak in it, and such, because you can hear it right whenever you're driving the truck. But it's a good truck. It's still it's under 200,000 miles. It is. I don't know what engine it has in that, but I know it's a V8. What else? Cause yeah, I mean, because eventually, obviously we need a truck that's able to pull the RV when needed, be able to pull the car trailer, like if we ever need to haul a vehicle or haul heavier loads, right? So that's or a need, right? And then we have mom's food trailer that would need to be towed around and such to different things. So that's why we're kind of needing a good, wholesome truck, that can be able to do all those things. But whenever it comes down to where you're like, okay, I got to move the food trailer, but I also need to go haul this car, or I also need to go pick up some lumber or do all this, and you only got one truck, now you're having to set priorities of, okay, well, who gets the truck first? What project is more important than the other? So that's when it starts coming down to where if you only have the one vehicle, you're going to start butting heads because, dad needs the truck to go pick up a car, because he does a lot of scrapping, right? Scraps, which they just actually got a new truck. Well, it's not new; it's new to them. So there will be another F-150 on the property. So that will be available, for towing stuff. But then, like I said, eventually that's always been like one of my dream trucks. Is the Ram 2500. So I'm still up in the air. I would love to get a diesel truck. Just diesel is so expensive. It's so expensive. And I know that, either the gas or the diesel will do everything that I need it to do, and such. And obviously gas is, they're both expensive, but diesel is just outrageously expensive. And if I'm using it as a daily driver, to me, it's more cost effective because I don't have to pull trailer all the time. I don't really need the torque and the power of the diesel all the time. And it would be a daily driver. So that's why, you start weighing out all your pros and cons of, hey, what's needed and what's not. It's like we're kind of trying to do the same thing on the property. You weigh out your pros and cons. What do you need? What do you want? What do you need? What do you want? Obviously we're trying to get all the needs. So, and that's like today, waiting on a phone call from Stinky's plumbing service, plumbing and septic. So, supposed to be meeting up, sometime after 9:00. It'll probably be closer to 10. So we got that taken care of. They're going to come do the inspection on the tanks and septic system that's there on the property. I'm going to get that set up. So if we can use it, it's good. We're going to use that as a dumping station for the RV, which, that was geese. I was like, I was hearing a noise, but there's geese down in the pond. Or reservoir area. Yeah, I'm back in the same spot today. But we still need to get the portable tank, for the RV to be able to haul it around, right? Because until I get the bridge built, we can't really go across the creek with something like that. Because you have to tow it, right? Either you need like a 4-wheeler or a smaller vehicle like this to be able to tow that portable tank. You can haul it around like a wheelbarrow, but trying to do that going through a creek and up a hill and blah, 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 I'm not going to do that. So, and it's a long walk going around on the road. So sewage is getting taken care of. Today, I'm actually going to be going and look, because we already have some of the black hose that's used for like a water well on the property. It's new. It's never been used. I want to see how long it is because we need it to be at least 90 feet long. At least. If it's a little longer, that's fine. But a minimum of 90 feet is what we need. So I'm going to look at that, start getting the stuff ready for the well, because we already have the pump for the well, right? To get that down into the well. I can get that lowered down in there. We do have, I have a little well sample, but we're going to be working with the local government here for being able to test that, the health department, but I can't take them this. I have to go get their equipment. They tell me how to get the sample, and then from that I go back and get it tested. Well, I already know to be able to get the sample from the well that I'm gonna have to be utilizing the pump to pump the water out to get it. So because this sample here I got out of the hose that was already down in there. So because the pump that the guy was using previously, the previous owners of the property, it was above ground pump, right? So it has to be primed and blah blah blah. So it's kind of like a pool pump or like a hot tub pump, and it's on a real small little expansion tank and such, and it only went down like 50 feet, right? Well, the well itself is, I measured it out right around 97 feet. So they're only going halfway down into the water column, which I'm pretty sure would not run out of water, even at that depth. But why wouldn't you go down towards the bottom? You don't want your pump sitting right on the very bottom, but close to it, at least within a foot or two. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to run it down. You basically, you take your pump, run it all the way down until it stops, and then bring it back up, and then tie it off, and that's where it stays. So, yeah. Those are things that I need to do today because I need the pump to be in the well so I can get a sample. I need, which I'm going to have to run off generator. And then we're getting the septic and stuff looked at. We're also getting some of our other build sites looked at for possible septic installs and such. And moving right along, we're still hoping that tomorrow we're moving the RV. Once the RV's on the property, we're just that much closer to actually living on the property. So, only a few more things we got to do. But, yeah, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Closer each day, as we like to say. Now, a poet didn't even know it. But, no. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump off this phone. That way I can get this put up, get it going, getting it loaded. I need to wait for the phone call from Stanky's, and then I have to meet them over at the property. Then we can do all that stuff. But I'm going to go ahead, once this is done loading, I'm going to head to the property, start doing the stuff for the well while I'm waiting, because I will already be there. That way they can just come and already be there. But anyway, we definitely appreciate you guys for following the journey. Closer each day. We're getting there. We're getting there. But remember, last but not least, remember, always thank a veteran at every chance you get, not only on Veterans Day. And we'll see you next week. Later, y'all.